Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I am here today with a really cool project for you. It is my Hugs and Kisses treat holder. So Hershey's has Kisses forever, right? And then they came out with Hugs. So I have purchased these little white cream Hershey Hugs, and I got them at Target. And then I got these Hershey Kisses Lava Cake, which, by the way, the wrappers on these things, OMG, I'm obsessed, completely obsessed, because I love anything that's cool like that. And so check out what this little treat holder looks like. You can see inside, so that makes the wrappers even more important, right? Now, you can make this without a window sheet on it. It's optional, but I added the window sheet, and I just think it's super cute to be able to peek at those Hugs and Kisses inside your treat holder. So to get them out, you just slide them through this piece here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm using the Love Cats stamp set out of the mini catalog. And the free celebration Thanks a Bunch, I'm using the Love You out of there for my sentiment. So I have those ready to go. The Love Cats has some cute sentiments as well. You don't have to use that Thanks a Bunch set. But since the items I'm using are over $50, you will be able to earn that for free during the month of January and February of 2023 during celebration. So I'm excited about that as well. So let me bring all my parts and pieces out. The really awesome thing about this treat holder is that it uses only 1/4 of a sheet cardstock. How fantastic is that? So you can get 4 of this main piece here out of 1 sheet of cardstock. Then you will use scraps for the remaining pieces, that, and then here's a scrap of white that I'm going to do my cat out of. And then the window sheet piece is fairly small as well. I'll put it on there so that you guys can see it a little better. Or maybe, I don't know if you can see it on here. Window sheets are hard to see, kind of. But the rest is negligible, just scrap paper. But the main core piece, this is 4 1/4 by 5 inches. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So you're going to put the 5-inch length across the top, okay? And then you're going to score in 3 score places. So the first score place is at 1 1/4 inches, which is 2 ticks past the 1. Then 2 1/2, which you can find the midpoint between the 2 and the 3 fairly easily. And then the last one is 3 3/4, which is 2 ticks less than 4. So those are your 3 score marks. Again, down the 5-inch length, you're going to score at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4. That's all the scoring that you have to do. Fairly simple. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and burnish along those score marks. So I'm just going ahead and running my bone folder and really giving it a nice crease. So this, you have 4 long rectangle panels, okay? And then this is going to overlap, and there is your triangle piece, okay? So what we're going to do next is we are going to secure, here's our Kisses and Hugs. I decided to use 3 of the Kisses and 2 Hugs. And I'm going to put them in like this. And one cool thing is, since I have my window, the only thing I'm messing around with on these is making sure that you can read the little tags or the little pieces that stick out, you know, that make them the Hershey's Kiss. These ones say lava cake. They don't say kisses, which usually it says kiss. It says lava cake, but oh my gosh, how cute are these wrappers? I'm in love with them. Completely obsessed. So I just make sure, excuse me, I'm a little bit hoarse. I have to drink a little bit of water. Getting over bronchitis, so my throat has sometimes needs a little water, parched. And when I talk a lot, I also get parched. So I just make sure that you can read what it says, that is showing. And once I have that, that's the most important part. So what I did first was I ran a length. This is going to be the top, and then these are going to go like this. So this back panel here is where my my kisses are going to fit. And it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to run a line of seal, not the plus, the regular seal. And then I'm going to set my kisses, and I'm not going to push them down real hard. I'm just going to lightly put them down until I get the proper placement for them. Because they stick out slightly, just slightly. And the reason I had them stick out is I wanted a little bit of the wrapper to show, because I'm obsessed with the wrapper. Plus, I wanted it to be able to get 4 out of each piece. And so I'm going to go ahead and drop down my little pieces so that those will show. And I have my placement where I want them, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of pressure now to get them to adhere to that seal. But it's not in there so tight that you can't move them or push them out when you want to get them out of the piece, okay? So once I have that down, this is going to now, this is going to form our, oh my goodness, I completely missed a step. So sorry guys, let's pull these out for a second. The first step, of course, is to punch your hole if you're going to do a window sheet. I already got so excited about the candy that I forgot about the punching. So we're going to fold this in half. I'm going to leave that sticky part on the outside. And I'm using my lasting label punch. I think it's a great punch. And I am going to position this in here. And I want to get about halfway in. And it doesn't have to be exact, but approximately. And I'm going to look at it from my side, then I'll let you guys see when I'm done getting it centered. But I'm going to make sure that about the same amount is sticking out on both sides, and that I'm halfway down my punch, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a punch. Whoops. There is my label that popped out, only half. Okay, so that's number 1. So we can still stick those down there. Now we're going to adhere our window sheet. So in order to adhere that window sheet in there, we want to make sure that it has a nice crease so that it lays along this crease here. So the piece of window sheet we're using is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So I'm going to grab my scoreboard back here, my Simply scoreboard, and I'm going to put it at 1.25 inches. So 2 ticks past that, and I'm just gonna go back and forth just a couple times to give it a crease. Okay, I'm gonna use my bone folder just like I used on my piece of cardstock, and I'm just gonna hold that in place, and I'm going to give that a nice burnish, which folds my window sheet piece in half. Now that's gonna go inside like so, and it's going to fit in between the 2 score marks that you have right there, okay? And you can trim it if you put it in and it's just a hair too big on one side. You know, you can come in like I'm doing here and cut a little bit off of there. I'm going to do that. It wasn't necessary. Mine would close, but I just wanted to show you how to do it. So you want to make sure you have it in and that both of these sides can bend, because remember, we're going to close it into a triangle. So once you have that part done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my wet adhesive, And I'm gonna put a little thin, so I'm just gonna put a dot, and then I'm gonna drag that along this side. You can also use mini glue dots in the corners, the two corners. I just really like things glued really well, so I love this green glue. Now, if it's not your friend, this glue, use some mini glue dots in the corner, and trust me, it's gonna hold. So I just put a little bit, and then I'm using the tip. I'm also gonna put adhesive on my sides, but I'm not actually pressing anything. I'm just using what's left on the tip of my glue to drag it along this side here. And I'm gonna drag what's left on this side as well up the sides here. I'm gonna do this last side. You don't need a lot of adhesive. And if you use the glue dots, I would just put it in the bottom corners. So now I have to be careful because I have my adhesive on all the sides, but I'm gonna place it right here in the center. And then I am going to push one at a time my window sheet down, and I'm gonna let it grab on this side first, and then I'm gonna bring it and I'm gonna reverse it, and then I'm gonna let it grab on this side second, okay? So that you see, right now you're gonna see the glue, but it'll dry clear, okay? So once that's in place, let me put my cap on my wet glue. Now we're gonna put these candies in. I apologize that I got ahead of myself. I got so excited about these wrappers that I couldn't wait to show them off. Oh my goodness, I'm just a mess, aren't I? But it's all right. You guys are getting used to me jumping the gun. So I'm just gonna lay these, just like I said, softly down, making sure that you can read the wrappers. And we'll lay them in here, and then when I'm happy with the placement, we can press them down. I'm not happy with the placement of this one. I want that hugs to show, so I'm gonna push it this way, and I'm gonna turn it in this direction, I think. All right. I think that's good. Happy with that. So let's go ahead and push them down. You saw how easy it was for me to lift them back up. So even though this is a pretty sticky adhesive, because the foil doesn't really bind that great to it, it's enough to hold it in place, but not to overwhelm it. And you can see here that my window sheet, the glue is starting to dry there. See how it's getting translucent? So it will do that for you, which is fantastic, right? All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and close it. This piece here is gonna get wrapped underneath this piece. So while it's open, oops, I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 lines of seal on that end, and we're gonna wrap it around and underneath. Look how cute that is. Super cute. You can see that cool wrappers on the side. I love that through that window you can see those hugs and kisses. Aren't they great? All right, so the next step is this piece here. So we had the base, which is this early espresso, which was 4 1/4 by 5 inches, scored at 1 1/4, 2 1/4, and 3 3/4. This piece is 1 1/2 inches by 4 1/2 inches, and it's a piece I used Melon Mambo, but you could use Polish Pink. That's the color of ink I'm going to be using. And this is going to be the base. So once again, I am going to, oops, I keep putting the lid on it and forgetting about it. I'm going to run 2 lengths of my adhesive along, hit the end. Time to replace. Let's see if I have one. I can show you how to do it right now if I have one handy in my drawer. Let's see. I do. All right, so when you buy these, they come like this. You're gonna pull that, pop it out of here. And then there's these two holes right here, and there's these two pieces right here. So before I do that, I wanna make sure that if there's anything gunked up on here, that I pull it off so that we have nothing gunky inside when we place a new refill in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and line up those two holes. You can see from this side, they go into those holes right there. And then all you do is just put this cap back on, and then this, you can use it or trash it. So let's go ahead and get this started. It's gonna take a second. There we go. So I wanna make sure that I have adhesive all the way to the end, and I had, there we go, now that I got it going. So there is ours in the bottom here. Gonna place this down. And I wanna make sure that I have the same all the way around, as, you know, eyeball it as best you can. That's all you can do. Nothing's ever perfect, right? And nor do we need it to be. So I'm just gonna press that into place. All right. So now we have our main component. We had the 4 1/4 by 5 inch. We had the 1 1/2 by 4 1/2, and the window sheet that was 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 scored at 1 1/4 1/2. So now we're going to do our sentiment with this little 1/2 inch piece. I think that's about 3 1/2 inches. It's a scrap piece, and I'm gonna stamp "Love You" from the Thanks a Bunch celebration stamp set with the carrots. So I'm just getting it inked up, and I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that to the center as best I can of that little piece. That's it for early espresso. The polish pink is gonna be our kitty cat. I'm gonna go ahead and clean that off. I use my chamois. So now I'm gonna put this to the side, and we're gonna do our kitty cat. So here's our stamp. It's the one of the kitty laying down. We're gonna ink this up. Get that nice and ready, and then I'm just gonna position it on my scrap paper here. Oh, you know, just do the best I can. That's all I can do, right? Or press it into place and make sure that the whole thing is nice and stamped, and it is. I almost forgot my ribbon. Hopefully I'll be able to lift that up. I'm gonna clean this first. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to lift. Clean our kitty cat. All right, so our ribbon is 12 inches, and I want it on this side. So I'm gonna lift right here. I'm gonna put my ribbon down, and then I'm gonna make sure that I have it pulled to the front and that it's even in the front. There we go. Push that back into place. And then we're gonna go ahead and tie a bow on the front section of this triangular holder. I think it's a cool, it's just super, I just love this. I just think it's very, very well. I love the colors. I love this pink with the espresso. I think hot pink and brown look really good together. So having the espresso, this ribbon is our polish pink open weave ribbon. So it's one of our nicer ribbons. It's one of the in color ribbons, not from this past May, but the previous one. And I'm just gonna keep tying my bow until I get it how I want it to look, and that it's nice and taut, and I'm happy with it. I think it's a little too loose. I'm gonna try again. I think you guys realize I have carpal tunnel. It's not the easiest thing to have and tie a bow with. But all I can do is my best. I'm sorry that I have to do it twice, because I just, my fingers, my thumb is numb, so I can't feel what I'm doing. So it's kind of hard to tie when you can't feel, but I'm doing the best I can for you. On the 24th, I have my doctor appointment. I can't wait until then because I will be so happy to have use of my fingers and not feel that numbness anymore. All right, so I'm pulling through. Now it's much tighter than it was before. All right, there we go. So there's my cute bow. I'll trim the ends in a minute. I want to see how everything is gonna sit and fit and all that good stuff before I do any trimming. So next we have our little kitty cat. So I'm gonna go ahead and fussy cut him out. And I'm gonna separate the hearts from him. The hearts that are up there are what I used on the Love You. So we're gonna go ahead and start and fussy cut him out. I'm leaving a little white border, and again I'm a little slow because I can't feel very good on my hand here, on my right hand. I'm right-handed. I have the carpal tunnel on my left as well, but it's not as bad because it's not my dominant hand. It's much worse on my right hand. But I'm doing fine, don't worry. I will still be here making lots of projects. I can't stop paper crafting because I love it so much. It doesn't matter to me that I have pain. I just have to keep doing what I love. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel, so I will be fine. I appreciate, especially Lynn. She's been so thoughtful in her comments. One of my subscribers to my channel. She's just been so kind, and I appreciate you, Lynn. So, but don't worry about me. I'm doing good. All right, we're almost done with our kitty cat. I'm gonna get rid of this extra out of my way. It helps to not have all that extra bulk from the paper. We'll work our way around. We'll do the top part of the cat, and then I will work on the hearts. This little kitty cat is so cute. Let's put the hearts over here. I love that each one of the cats is in a different position. And so I think it just gives the stamp set a lot of whimsy. It's a really cute stamp set. Let's get around these whiskers. And then the last step will be to get around this little ledge here. There we go. All right, let's work on our hearts. So we're going to cut the 3 of them out. They become our embellishments. This little kitty cat is so cute. I mean, and if you don't want to cut these teeny tiny hearts out, you certainly don't have to. We have heart pearls that you can color the white ones with our pink Stampin' Blends if you want to. I just really thought it was cute to have the open heart, like this one right here that I'm cutting out is open. Then you have some solid ones. And I really like the look of them on that piece. So, that's why I chose to cut them out, even though they were pretty small. But like I said, if you don't like fussy cutting and this is too much for you, then you can use some embellishments instead. There should be one more on here. Yeah, there it is, the little baby one, the baby solid heart. I'm gonna get rid of that. When it's less bulky, it's a little bit easier, but you still, when you have something this tiny, you still need something to hold on to. So what I do is I just hold on to the edges of my paper like so, and I rotate those edges around, and there is my solid. Okay, so there's that one. All right, let's work on our sentiment. So I used a scrap. It's a little too long. but I'm gonna just trim about that much on both sides. And then we are going to use this new punch. This is the Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch. It's new in the mini catalog. It has a scalloped one and then one that kind of looks like a ticket punch. So I'm going to do the scalloped one. I'm going to slide this in. We'll get that one first. You can see that little scalloped end right there. And then let's do the other side. And there's the second one. So we have our two little scalloped ends. And now we'll glue those little pink hearts on there. Put the kitty cat. All right, let's get our multi-purpose glue. I'm gonna turn these upside down. The nice thing is, even though with my carpal tunnel, I cannot cut as well as I used to. When you leave white edges and you're gluing onto white, it's even less noticeable. So I'm gonna grab my tweezer, start with the large heart, put it on this side. We'll take the next, the open one will be up here. And then below it, I'll put the tiny solid one. So cute. What do you guys think of this? I think it looks really cute with these little hearts. All right, so let's go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back. So we're gonna put 3 dimensionals on the back of this. And the kitty cat is going to be glued with the multi-purpose glue. Let me get that ready. All right, so what I did to figure out where to put the glue is I just propped my kitty cat up here to look at it. So the tail, the entire tail is going to get glued down. This little hand that comes down, and then that little paw there. The rest of him, no glue. Okay, so I'm going to move the ribbon out of the way. I'm going to bring my mat back in so we know the whole tail, this little paw that's hanging down, and then this little paw here. And I'm actually going to run a very thin line of glue on the very bottom edge of the kitty. We're going to hold him at the top. Move this out of the way. I'm going to position this so that you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to lay the kitty cat onto our piece. Make sure his tail is down, his little paw. And just let him sit up there. And he will set. While that's happening, I'm pressing him into place here. We're going to take the backs off of our Stampin' Dimensionals with our Take Your Pick tool. You can see this is a fairly quick project. And here comes the Love You. This is going to get attached down at the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit of it onto the window sheet and a little bit, so that a little bit of that espresso brown shows at the bottom there. You can see that. And then we're going to go ahead and put our ribbon back into place. We're going to tuck it behind our kitty here. Make sure that our bow is cute. I like it. I'm not going to trim anything off of it. I think it looks pretty good. Our kitty cat is well underway. The only thing is on this side here, because I pulled this piece back and I put that ribbon, I don't have enough adhesive now on that end. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift this up and I'm gonna put adhesive on that bow and on this end. And I'm just gonna hold it in place for a second and get that to bond, because when I put that glue on, when I put the ribbon on there, it covered up some of the adhesive. So now it should be nice and secure. And there is our cute project. Very happy with that. Let me move this stuff out of the way, bring our stamp set back in. Again, I use the Love Cats and the Thanks a Bunch stamp set, along with the Happy Labels Pick a Punch and the Lasting Label Punch. So those are the two punches that I used. I hope that you enjoyed the project. Please leave me some comments below. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments as well. And it is great to have you here. Thanks for being here. Have fun making your Valentine's Day projects. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!